It's Tag Tuesday and I'm super late. So I didn't know what I was going to make a tag out of because I am very late. And when I logged off work, I came in my craft room and was looking around. Of course, I always use cardboard, but today I found this little file folder that I've had forever in my little tote over here. And I thought, oh, that'll make a cute tag. So I'm going to ink up the edges here. And my plan was to leave it together and then maybe make a pocket out of it, you know, a tag where you could write on the inside because there's so much real estate in there that you could write on. I didn't want to glue it together, but it took me a minute to figure out what I was going to do with it, but that was the plan. I was going to leave it as one tag and have it two-sided. So you'll see here I'm going to round the corners, and it's not until down the road a little bit that I decide that I'm going to make it into two, which was a genius idea, but just took me a minute to get there. So it's a little, I don't know who makes it. I don't think it's Tim Holtz. I got it at Tuesday morning a long time ago. Came in a package of like 3, I think. But one of them has a place where you can put a picture, and then has like the date and the time and things like that. And it does say photography evidence or something like that. But I thought on one card that had the camera you could write the story, and on this one you could put the date and time and put a picture or something like that. So inked up the edges, and here I'm just stamping that stamp on there just for a little background noise, just to give it just a little extra something. The ink is, I think, vintage photo, so you could still write over the top of it and it'll still show just fine. And right about here is when I decided that I was going to make it into 2 tags. So there you have completely blank back of each card to journal on, write more of a story or something on, or you could back it with something else if you wanted, a picture or a menu from wherever you went on vacation or something like that. So this is a paper doily, and I just tore off a piece of it, and I'm going to ink this up just to give it a little age. It didn't seem shiny, but when I put the ink on there, it came out a little bit shiny, and I liked the way the color came out. So it just looked a little bit different. I don't know if you could tell it on camera or not. But so then I'm going to Mod Podge this on there. Now the ink I'm using is, if you get it wet, then it's going to react, right? And it's going to smear. So that's what's going to happen when I put the Mod Podge on this lace doily, is the ink is going to smear a little bit. So I'm trying to just dab it down gently and not just rub it all over. So I do Mod Podge off to the side here because I'm trying to keep the surface as neat as possible so the back of the cards don't get ink on them and mess up your writing space. I don't write on mine so much. I have a string little banner on the wall over here that I hang all my tags and ATCs on if I don't trade them anywhere. So so in the Tim Holtz little pad of stickers there, I just have one here. It looks like a measuring tape in a way, so I cut it in some pieces, and I'm gonna lay that down here to start embellishing my 2 cards here. And I'm inking the edges because they're white. And then eventually I'll kind of get the scissors out, and, well, I won't kind of get the scissors out. I will get the scissors out and kind of scruff up the edges a little bit so it's not just a little cut piece of sticker. They're pretty thick. They're not like a paper sticker. So so I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do here to make my little embellishment. That was the tab off of the one card, so I'm going to lay that down, and then I'm going to put this little measuring tape piece on top of that. And then in the next card, I didn't have that little tab since it was like a file folder. There was only one, so I just grabbed a sheet of paper here out of my little bin of scraps, and happened to be green. So this one's going to have a little green. I'm just going to cut out a little tab of this paper here just so I have the same elements on both tags. And I'm rounding it. See if I could get the corners rounded a little bit to match the tab on the other one. And here we're just inking it again, just to match everything else. Even though it's green, it's a really pretty green. I really love that paper. And so it adds a little touch of color. Inside that package of Tim Holtz stickers, these are little envelopes that look like letters that were sent. So I'm just inking the edges so that they match as well. I'm going to round the corners on each one and ink the edges. So I guess we probably all have tickets in our stash. So I got out a couple here and I thought I would use them. Wasn't exactly sure how, but they make great little layering elements. I also love to get a string of them and embellish them and trade them in different swaps and stuff, or make them just for the fun of it. They're a great little substrate to work on there. And you can also kind of cut out your own tickets if you don't have them. But here I'm doing the same thing, just scruffing up the edges a little bit, making them look worn. And with the scissors, I'm curling it. So I'm trying to make it look like a wavy, kind of like a banner or a flag would wave. So one side is a little higher than the other. So we're going to just curl both ends, but in opposite directions, so that it kind of curls like that. So then I'll put glue on the side that points down, and then right where it bends, I'll put glue there so it sticks to the tag. I just wanted this to be a little bit darker and show up more. And again, I'm just scruffing up edges. So it's funny how we like everything old and scruffy, right? Not everybody, but a lot of people. We're all the channels that have to do with old and vintage and finding old rusty things, and I think that's pretty interesting how we all kind of a feel for that. So here I'm just doing the same thing, just inking everything up, trying to make it a little bit darker, trying to just determine how I'm going to put my layout here. So the space on one tag is a little bit at the top, and the other one is further down on the card. So I want them to match. They just want me on the same place on the card. So here we're going to lay down the ticket. You know, and there's a million ways you can lay down the simplest thing. If somebody else would have put the ticket somewhere else, you know, and done different things with the letters maybe, or the background. But I think it's interesting how there's so many different ways that you can embellish and use the same material to people and come up with completely different ideas for it. So, you know, if this is something you can try, just wanted to show you in this video that these were not tags, actually little file folders, but I desperately was looking for something to make a tag out of, and so I was like, oh, this is going to be a tag. But I think they turned out really nice. I like them. So, you know, you just change your frame of mind about how you look at things, and you can make tags for your journals that are beautiful and original. So, and again, here, this is taking a while. I should have probably cut some of this out, but I just wanted you to see how, you know, you can just lay things down and then look at them, and then just look at them again, and you want to change it up a little bit. So bear with me here just a second. And here I'm going to do kind of the same thing with the letter. but I'm going to curl the edges in so it looks like an old piece of paper, you know, that's kind of curled up on the edges. And then you'll just ink the parts that are showing that are white. It's a little technique that I use in a lot of my work just because it gives it a little depth, some texture. This stayed fairly flat, so if you wanted to put in a journal so you could write on it, it's not too thick of an embellishment that it wouldn't close inside of a journal. When I put the letter down on top of the ticket, since the ticket is curled and raised, I put the little sticky foam under there to make it an even height there with the ticket. And inside also of that Tim Holtz packet were these butterflies, and of course can't finish off a tag without a butterfly. So I always say I'm not going to put a butterfly on there, and I do because I love them. So, and again, somebody else would have put the butterfly maybe at the bottom or somewhere else on the card. So, but this is, I'm going to ink him up a little bit, and then this is where he's going to rest here. And you can see I did the other one as well. So with my label maker that I got just not too long ago, I looked for words that had to do with photography, and that wasn't really right what I was feeling. But some of the quotes were about looking out and seeing things. So on one card I put, I look out and I see life is on the other one. So, and then I decided, of course, you can't leave well enough alone. So I wanted to put some staples on there just to give it another element. You don't have to do that. It does have the staples on the other side. So if you were going to write, you wouldn't be able to write in that one spot. But again, since I'm not going to write on mine, I just put some little staples on there. I did go over the staples later on the front there with the black marker to so they weren't so shiny, because the card is not new and shiny. So, but this is it. This is the 2 tags I made from a little file folder. I really like how they came out. They look vintage and old, especially with the old camera on there. So I appreciate you guys coming along and watching, and with my very late post for Tag Tuesday, but Sheree says anytime on Tuesday, so I'm gonna take advantage of that and post really late tonight. It's the editing that takes so long. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm going to put the link to Sheree's YouTube channel below in the description, so you can go out and check out her channel, and she'll list in the link the participants that are going to do the Tag Tuesday collaboration. So make sure you go over and check out Sheree.